Good morning. It is 7:15. I have not had coffee yet, and we're about to catch the train down to Teignmouth for the Temple away. See you in a bit. Hello everyone, welcome to Teignmouth. Early start this morning, and the coffee shop was too long a queue, so I haven't had a coffee today. So I'm very unhappy about that. But we have a lovely day here. Lovely views down to the sea. And we're walking the Temple away. So we're going to be heading basically all the way up there, and then there's a high point up there that we're climbing to, Haytor. Have a good one. Okay, this is quite cool. So we're now walking down on the banks of the River Teigne, and there's a tidal route, which I didn't realise you could take, which goes up this way, which seems to be walking along the low tide. We've just come off of the low tide path into this little inlet, which is very pretty over the other side there. You've got the railway line that I was just on. A couple of trains have gone past there, but I haven't got to my phone fast enough. It's very peaceful. It's 9:15 in the morning. We've done 3 miles, and we've got a little information bit about the Temple away here. So we're at Archbrook. I am 12 3/4 miles apparently away from Haytor. I thought it was more than that, but apparently I am wrong. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So it's named after the Templar family of the Stover estate, which is a large estate up past Newton Abbot, rather than anything to do with the Knights Templar. I did wonder where that had come from. Some of the wildlife we've seen. Certainly seen plenty of swans and mallards. Haven't seen any herons yet. It's oh, hang on, my shadow's there. It's a shell duck. I want to see a shell duck. But yes, so we've come across there. Now we've started on the Sheldon side. Couldn't see the ferry times anywhere. So I started on the Sheldon side rather than starting and catching the ferry. Apparently you can walk that at low tide, but I'm not going to try that. So we are here, and we've got all the way up to Newton Abbot along the estuary, and then we head inland up along a canal. I'm trying to keep my shadow out of here. All the way around Bovey Tracy, and then we've got the big old climb there. On this top section there is no way marking, follow the line of the tramway. Oh, okay, fair enough. Right, okay, 12.5 miles to go apparently. Let's see how we get on. We're coming up on the Coombe Cellars pub, just right on the edge of the river here. They do a fantastic roast here. Hashtag not sponsored. But hey, I'm always open to sponsorship for roast dinners. But yeah, that's a lovely place to go for a pint in the summer. However, it is 9:30 in the morning. So yeah, no pints quite yet. We'll save pints and we'll save ice cream for later. This is about the first view we've got of where we're going to be ending the day. If we zoom in there, just in the distance through the clouds, through the mist, you can just see a high peak in there. There's a few of them. There's one there, and we're going to one just there, which apparently is 12 miles. We shall see. So we're walking this at, well, very low tide. The tide's right the way out there. This is the trail now. It doesn't mark it as a low tide trail past this point. So I'm wondering, I mean, it comes right the way up. Oh, this is terrible lighting. It comes right the way in. There's damp line and there's moss and there's seaweed right the way up to the edge here. So I didn't check this out at all beforehand, but this very much feels like a path that you have to walk at low tide, or at least this section. It's raining. Sad. We've got this very cool old jetty here. don't know how long it's been here, but it's well worn away. Looks extremely rickety. Obviously only high tide access, which shows you the tide range that you must get here. Oh, hello train. I wonder how old this is. It looks like fairly newly machined wood. That looks machine cut rather than hand sawn, although that said, I think probably bits of this have been replaced over the years. They just look like tree trunks, treated tree trunks. And some very gnarly looking old rusty bolts in there. It's very cool looking. Well, that was fun. On the trail just down there, there is a wasp nest. Big old wasp nest. If I can get in closer to it. Just there, on that post, on that tree, sorry. You might be able to just see that. And they are feisty. So I've had to cut round down through here, through this little bit of mud, shimmy up this wall here, and yeah, my new shoes are worn in now. No chance of taking these back, they're mine. Oh, that was fun, and I smell, it's smelly mud. Got to get lunch somewhere, that'll be fun. Oh well, we move on. We're crossing under the A380 now, and we're actually on something approaching a path. Everything up to this point has been walking along the shoreline, and then basically walking through mud. I am very muddy, which is bummer. But yeah, we're now about to walk under the A380, which is, you know, very scenic, highlights of the trek. But we're about, how far in are we? 6.5 miles in. Legs are feeling good. Knee is feeling stiff, but my knee always feels stiff. And then we're heading towards that bridge, I believe, in front of us. We shall see, I think. Find out in a minute. This is supposed to be attached to that. This is what you get for £6 off Amazon. Oh well, no more standing tripod shots. Well, walking along some lovely countryside, some nice fields with coos and things in there, but this path itself is just a solid tarmac path. It's very hard on the feet. My knee is really not liking it. But the view's lovely. I'm hoping to get a good view of Haytor that I can give you, so you can kind of get an idea of what the climb is going to look like. Well, we're now at Teignmouth Lock, it would seem, which is allegedly 8.5 miles from Haytor. And we're now on the Stover Canal, which should take us through a couple of villages where we get some food, which would be quite nice. But we were here last time we saw one of these signs, and we're now here. So, probably about halfway, but this bit has all been flat. This bit's a canal, so I'm guessing it's going to be flat to about here. And then this bit at the end is basically one long sustained climb. Robin, there he goes. A new friend. Hello. How are you? Just done lunch at the Locksbridge Tea Garden. Very nice. Can definitely recommend it. Lovely cup of coffee and some toast and pate. Get some energy for the rest of the day. So we've moved off of the canal path now, and we're now onto country lanes. I mean, it's a very quiet country lane. I haven't seen a single car on here at all. Lots of cyclists, lots of people out enjoying it, some trail runners. But it's a lane, it's a road, which is a shame. I don't think it's going to last too long, but yeah, it's a lane surrounded by hedges either side. not the most scenic part. Over halfway through, I'm enjoying myself. The first part of it, walking along the river, was good. The section from Newton Abbot to here has been average, I would say. Not my favourite section of any of the walks that I've done so far. In fact, I'd say, yeah, I'd go out and say that the section from Newton Abbot to here is the least favourite that I've walked so far. I think it's going to get better, because as we get out onto Duckmaw, it's going to become a lot more spectacular scenery. And the tea room was lovely, but the walking has been tarmac. Right, well, we've got to go through Heathfield industrial area. I think we skirt around the side of it, and then we're kind of getting towards the moorland then. We're going to go down, cross over the A38 at that pedestrian bridge, and then essentially we'll go through that wooded area there. I think it goes up towards Bovey Tracy, which is kind of the little town in here, and then turns left and follows an old tramway up to there. Yeah, this is where we're headed. And it's raining. Okay, so there is an interesting situation here with the marking of the Temple Way on the trail and the marking of Temple Way on the map. I have been walking following the signage around on the trail. It's pretty bad. There are gaps where you would expect there to be signage and there isn't, but for the most part I found the signs without too much of a problem. However, I was expecting to walk through a country park, so I stopped and I dug out the Ordnance Survey map and found that the routing of the trail, actually physically on the ground, the little orange blazes with directions, doesn't match what is on the Ordnance Survey map. So I've missed a whole pretty section of a country park that I was expecting to walk through. So I'm disappointed now. Instead, I mean, it's pretty scenic, but I'm on this little single track road through a forest. Bummer. So I'm going to use the opportunity to talk about a couple of bits of kit that I got. Previously, I've been walking with my old alpine climbing rucksack, which is a very good rucksack, near waterproof. No problems with it at all, apart from the fact that it didn't have a lot of padding on the straps or on the hip belt. And from about 7 miles in each walk, I felt that I'm wearing it. So, Mama Dodge and Mrs. Dodge, for my birthday, which is technically at the end of July, but I got it early, have got me a new rucksack, which is an Osprey Aether, A-E-T-H-E-R, Aether, let's go with Aether, 55. And honestly, it is the most comfortable thing I've ever put on my back. It's lovely. There's hip pockets which have held all of my sweets. I've got my AirPods charger in there. I put my phone in there. The carrying harness on it is fantastic. I'm very tempted to actually do a proper review video of it. So we might get Dodge reviews as well as Dodge games and Dodge walks, but we'll see. And the other bit is my shoes. So I've got a pair of Scarpa walking shoes, I suppose you could call them, trail shoes, something like that. Now, these have been less comfortable to wear than the Asics trail shoes that I was running in. They are firmer and they are, they're warmer. There's less mesh on them. However, they are much more rigid. So what I found is, it's a weird one. I found them more comfortable to walk in on rough surfaces, rocky paths and uneven surfaces. But when you start walking on these sections, like the road, they're a little bit less comfortable than trail runners because there's less cushioning in them. But that said, I think because the two moors way, and most of the walking that I do is generally on trails rather than tarmac roads, they're going to be the better choice. They're very comfy, they fit my feet nicely. I've walked 13 miles in them and not a feel of a hot spot, nothing. We'll see how we do at the end. But yeah, so I'm very happy with them. But it's interesting the trade-offs between going ultra light with a pair of trail runners, which are very meshed, and something a bit more walking focused. Anyway, on with the walk. So we've just had a nice little sit down on this little log just to give the legs a rest for 15 minutes. I'm trying to be disciplined and not just bolting through 20 miles. I've got to hike this, I'm going to be hiking the Teignmouth way, give myself some breaks just to let the legs recover for a little bit. Grab some granola, hydrated up. One of the things I'm liking about this rucksack is that I can stick water bottles, ignore that waste, down the side. Because I probably won't be taking this with me because it's a pain to fill up on the go. It's good for day hikes, but for multi-day, they're a pain in the bum. Yes, right, we're now starting to climb up, so I'm about to get to a busy road junction. Oh, I'm looking over there. Let's look at the camera, shall we? That'd be professional. I'm about to get to a busy road junction, so I won't be recording there because I have to walk about 300, 400 metres along the main tourist route down off of this side of Duckmaw. So it'll be you know, earbuds out, concentrating and listening very hard for cars because people drive it way too quickly. Yes, so this won't be fun, but then after that we turn off onto basically the old tramway and then we follow the tramway all the way up. So yeah, this is the start of the big hill. Wish me luck. This is where the road comes out, where I've got to cross over the edge of the national park, but this section here is busy. This is the main road down off of Haytor and Haytor and the whole southeast side of the moor. And that's the signpost over there that they've got to follow. So, phone's going away for a bit, and I'll see you on the other side. Well, you used to be able to go through here, skirt around the edge of the field, but no longer. Which sadly means more walking on that road. That's a bit of a bummer. I don't know where the next junction is going to be. I think it's about another 300 metres up the road. Not gonna lie, that kind of sucks. Okay, crack on. That was not a fun section of road. I would say 99% of the drivers were very respectful, walked on there according to the country code. Most people seem to be obeying the speed limit and would give me room, and there's a verge that I could step into, but it wasn't fun. It's not a fun section to walk up. However, we're onto the track now, which I think, if I've got my bearings right, I go down there and then curve around to the left, and it's open moorland from here to the end, which is good. But yeah, that wasn't fun. But hey ho, it's done now. So this is a part of the old tram line that effectively this top part of the trail follows. Kind of disappears off into the gorse bush. There's not a lot of it left, but you can just see where it's chiselled in so that the trucks, the carts, the cars, the rail tram cars, whatever we're going to say, could roll along it as it goes down, crosses over and goes further down, which is the path that we're not allowed to walk on, but we can walk on this one. So we'll kind of cross over bits of this, and then as we get up onto the upper moor, there's some places when it's in much better condition. So you can see here, actually that's quite a good shot. So you've got there and there. So you can kind of see the gauge of it. It's, what's that, 3-4 feet, just over a metre across, something like that, the gauge of the tramway. And this would have been where granite was mined up from Haytor and then carted down and put on barges and then sent off to wherever it was going to be sold to. Oh, ow. And there's lots of gorse bushes. This is a really nice avenue of trees with the tramway laned out, one of those words, down through the middle of it. And this is one of the sections where you can actually get a good idea of what it would have looked like hundreds of years ago. In operation, big carts of granite, which were, I believe they were pony hauled. I can't remember, I'm pretty certain they were pony hauled up and down, which must have been a hell of a job. but probably no Indiana Jones rolling down them. So we go up here. This has been a steady climb up now since we joined the road a few miles back. My legs are thanking me for it. We're at mile 16 and a half roughly, and in a minute we're going to start curving around to the left, and then we'll eventually, in about, I think about a mile, 3/4 of a mile, come out into open moorland, which would be nice. But yeah, this is a really interesting historical artefact of the area, and this section here is one of the better remaining examples of how it looked. Whew, I'm out of puff. This might be one of the last boards that we see, but here we are. That was the section of road I had to walk from there, and that was where I was supposed to turn off, and that's where I ended up turning off and turning back on myself. So that whole section there, which, yeah, no bueno, no fun. So we came down here, this is a very rocky path, around the corner, and we're now on the disused tram line, and we've come around here to this corner. So we've got a sharp 90 degrees south or left turn down there, and then just where this spot here is, that's where you start to come through into open moorland. And then that, you can probably tell by the contour lines, there is a ridge which will be to my right, and we've got a walk along the side of the road. It's not on the road, it's at the side of the road, so it's not too bad. And then this final section here is up with a very classic Haytor, oh there she is, hello, see you in a minute, the very classic Haytor view at the end there. So we're going to get to there, which is the end of the Templar Way, and then I'll walk up to Haytor Rock and we'll climb it, and then I'm being picked up at a car park about here. Yes, nearly at the end. That is quite a nice visual display of the journey. Let's get it done. Well, this is a new one. I've never seen one of these before on the moor. So we've hooked up with the Duckmaw way, which I think goes all the way around the moor. I can't remember, I'll have to do a bit more research on that one. Go through this, helps if you open it. Go through this kissing gate. And then there is a legitimate turnstile here almost, which is going to be a squeeze getting through with the backpack on. But I can only imagine this has been put here to stop the ponies escaping. That's just an assumption, I've no idea, and there's no information on this gate. Oh, hang on, no, I lie, it's behind me. Please don't let ponies escape, please shut the gate. Right, okay. So, yes, I think this must be like a pony prevention plan, something like that. Yeah, either that or I'm, I don't know, about to go through a metal detector. Nice pretty trail of foxglove. Excuse me, let's try that again. A nice pretty trail of foxgloves. Yeah, lots of them down by the side of the trail, amongst the gorse, and the old tram lines. Very pretty. What a lovely splash of colour. Right, about 1.5 miles from the end now. My lift is on its way, and I'm looking forward to an ice cream. And we're out onto the open moorland. Finally, the path's widened out. The road is right there, but we'll leave it in a minute. And that's the view. I'll show you where I walk from later. This is where the path follows the side of the road. So we're going to go up there and we'll get a view of Haytor in a minute. You might be able to hear me over the wind, but we're on the last half mile now. The top section of the tram line here, tramway, where a tree has made its presence known in the middle. And there is Haytor Peak. The trail actually ends just to the right of that, which is east by compass. So we'll go to the end of the trail and then we'll walk up to the top there, and then I'm being picked up, hurt finger, here, at a car park at the top of the hill. Nearly there. I'm having a Mexican standoff. Come on, I need to get through there, buddy. Thank you. Go, you go. Oh, you're so grumpy. I'm going that way. It's alright, it's fine. There you go. It's alright. There we go. Hopefully you'll be able to hear this over the wind noise. But here we've got the final part of the trail, where the tramway junctions off over to the various quarries. There's one round the back there, one in here, which is the one I'm heading to. But I think this is the end. I'm just looking around to see whether I can see a marker or anything like that, but I can't. I think I might be at the end, which is a bit anticlimactic if I am and there's no marker. But otherwise, there's Haytor, which I'm going to go and walk up to, and then the car park is just over the top there. This was hard work. This was really hard work. Right, I'm going to try and see if I can find an end marker. There was! There it is. Either the start or the end, whichever way you're doing it. But, tag. Templar's Way, done. We've got this very cool old jetty here. This is, oh, and some very squidgy mud. Yeah, yuck. Okay, let's try that again. We'll call this B-roll. We'll pretend this is professional. Yeah. Right, okay, let's start that again.